In this video, I'm going to go over the fundamentals of the ketogenic diet and then explain exactly how to do it so that you, without any support from a nutritionist or personalized diet plan, can transition to a way of eating that really works and crucially can be sustained. Now, if you're completely new to keto, a little bit of background on what it is and why it works is probably where you should start. So here's a video covering that stuff, which I recommend you go and watch first. Okay, let's start by talking about macros. The ketogenic diet is centered around consuming specific ratios of the three main nutrient groups, otherwise known as the macronutrients. These are the nutrients that make up the vast majority of any diet and from which we obtain all our calories. They are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Now, I'll take you through some of the best sources of these nutrients later on, but for now, let's get straight to it and talk ratios. So depending on where you look, on keto around 70 to 75% of your calories should come from fats, 20 to 25% from protein, and only 5% from carbohydrates. The important thing to note here is that we're talking calories obtained and not volume or weight. So in order to get this right, a little bit of calculation is required. Okay, let's go through an example. Let's see if an avocado is ketogenic. So if I search avocado nutrition and scroll down here, make sure quantity is set to 100 grams so we can easily see the percentage, and we're looking for our macros. So we have 15 grams of fat, 2 grams of protein, and 9 grams of carbohydrate per 100 grams. Now, fat contains 9 calories per gram, and both carbs and protein contain 4 calories per gram. So a simple calculation gives us the number of calories, and then we can just work out the percentages, and we find that of the calories contained in the avocado, 75% come from fat, which is perfect, 5% from protein, and 20% from carb. So a little bit high on the carb side, but this isn't necessarily an issue as long as we balance it out by consuming less carbohydrate elsewhere. For example, if you were to add a couple of eggs to your plate, your protein percentage would increase significantly and overall carbs would go down. So at this point, you're probably thinking, how am I going to work out the ratios of nutrients in everything I eat, especially if I'm cooking with 20 different ingredients? Well, first, you don't need to do the calculations manually, as you can just search for a macros calculator online and enter the food and weight. There are also plenty of apps and websites that will give you estimates on things like pasta sauce, so you don't need to worry about measuring everything you put in when you cook. Besides, it's not an exact science, so as long as you're sticking to these numbers fairly closely, you should be just fine. Alright, now the part that's really relevant to you if you're thinking of starting keto: what should I actually eat? Okay, so on keto, carbohydrate makes up just 5% of your daily intake, which equates to somewhere between 20 and 30 grams, depending on the size and calorific needs of the person. So how are you going to achieve this? Well, firstly, your diet should contain no grains or flour, which eliminates rice, bread, oats, cereals, noodles, pasta, pastry, pizza, fried chicken, and anything that contains corn flour or rice flour as a thickener, like sauces or thickened stews. Next, no starchy root vegetables, which means no potatoes, sweet potatoes, parsnips, or carrots, which aren't as bad as potatoes, but with around 5 grams of sugar and 10 grams of total carb per 100, a single serving could still make up half of your daily allowance. Ideally, you should avoid milk as it contains lactose, which is a sugar, but cheese and full-fat yogurt are fine, as in each case the lactose is broken down through fermentation. Generally, you should also stay away from fruit as it contains fructose, although there are some lower carb exceptions like papaya, blueberries and raspberries, which can be consumed in moderation. As a general rule, the sweeter the fruit tastes, the more it should be avoided, so in particular, avoid things like ripe mangoes and bananas. Next, we have the big one, which is no sugar. This of course means no cake, candy, chocolate, desserts, ice cream or sweetened beverages, but it's also hidden in so many things, so in particular be aware of processed foods like sweetened yogurts, pasta sauces, salad dressings, in fact almost anything in a packet. Do not be conned by healthy marketing on products like breakfast cereals and protein bars, and always check the label for both sugar and total carb. Remember, we're aiming for around 25 grams per day or less. You'll also need to stay away from pulses, including beans, lentils, and chickpeas, and even certain nuts like peanuts and cashews, which contain a surprising quantity of carbohydrate. Okay, so that's a lot of what you can't eat, but what can you eat? Well, in terms of veggies, you want to be consuming mostly leafy greens because dark greens are a dense source of micronutrients and have no effect on blood sugar. Cabbage is also fine, as are cauliflower, aubergine or eggplant, courgette or zucchini, mushrooms, pumpkin, garlic, and in moderation, onion and broccoli. In addition, salads are a great way of getting in things like cucumber, celery, lettuce, radishes, avocados, and again in moderation, tomatoes. Okay, so on a ketogenic diet, protein should be restricted to 20 to 25%, which equates to somewhere between 75 and 130 grams for most people. But we've always been taught that protein is so healthy, so why only 25%? Why not consume more? Well, only a certain amount is usable or can be converted into structural tissue. So when you consume more than you need, the excess will be turned into glucose in the liver, which will spike your blood sugar and insulin and potentially kick you out of ketosis. As you can see, protein has a significant effect on insulin, so that's why you want to limit it to 25% and 20% if you want to be safe. So the best proteins to consume on a ketogenic diet are of course low carb, which means no lentils, beans, chickpeas, peanuts, cashews, or anything else that will carry you over your 5% limit. Mostly you want to be consuming animal products, as the protein is more bioavailable and the amino acid profile more complete than most plant sources. Check out this video if you want to know more. So you can eat fish, meat, eggs, cheese, and high-fat natural yogurt. Nuts are also a good source of protein and are really convenient to snack on, so low-carb nuts like almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, pistachios, and macadamias, which are over 75% fat, are fine to consume. Be aware that some contain a little bit more carb than others, so do your own research and remember that moderation is key. For the vegetarians out there, tofu is a great source of protein and it's very low in carb, but it lacks fat, so make sure you fry it in something like coconut oil. Finally, stay away from protein powders. They're expensive, you don't need them, provided you eat well, they lack fat and often contain harmful additives and even sugar. Okay. So now on to fat. 70%, the majority of your calorific consumption, so around 150 grams or somewhere in the range of 100 to 180 grams per day. Now 150 grams may sound like a lot, but if keto is to be effective, eating plenty of fat is a must, as not consuming enough will make the diet a real struggle in terms of hunger, energy levels, and cravings. By comparison, eating plenty of fat will allow you to maintain the diet over the long term and make adjustments to your calorie intake along the way that allow you to lose weight at a sustainable pace. Remember, long-term success is the goal and therefore consistency is the key. Now, admittedly, eating a lot of fat can be difficult, especially if you've been told all your life to avoid it, so you may need to be a little bit creative if you're to consume enough. Whether that means adding lots of avocado oil to your salad dressings, stir-frying your veggies in coconut oil or lard, making your own mayonnaise, cooking scrambled eggs with butter, adding cream to sauces, soups or stews, or even taking a shot of olive oil at some point during the day. Sounds crazy, but a big 50ml shot contains 450 calories and already fulfills around a third of your daily fat requirement, so it's very convenient, particularly if you're short of time. Now, picking the right fat sources is extremely important, so I recommend you go and watch my video on healthy fats, but to give you a very brief summary, stay away from vegetable oils, seed oils, and hydrogenated fats, which means no margarine or vegetable shortening. Use extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, avocado oil, and animal fats like butter, lard, tallow, egg yolks, fatty meat, cream, cheese, and fish oils. So to summarize, in terms of carbohydrates, avoid grains, bread, starchy root vegetables, sugar, processed foods, pulses, and in most cases fruit. Eat salads, leafy greens, and low-carb veggies. Get your fat and protein from oily fish, fatty meat, low-carb nuts, eggs, cheese, and full-fat yogurt. Avoid foods that contain too much carb or too little fat, so no beans, lentils, peanuts, cashews, or lean meat like chicken breast, unless it's supplemented with a lot of additional fat. Now, if you're new to low carb and have never tried intermittent fasting before, I recommend you gradually change your macros over time. Dropping carbs straight down to 5% of your daily intake could feel a bit extreme because it usually takes several days to become efficient at using ketones, so if you suddenly deprive your body of glucose as well, you're likely to feel tired, hungry, and lethargic, and the diet's going to feel like a real struggle. So why not cut carbs to 10 or even 15% initially, and then once you get accustomed and you feel good with that, you can lower it further towards 5. Okay, so that's it for this one. I think you now have everything you need to give keto a go, but if I've missed out anything major, please let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.